These are Turičky. And this is the town or a village where one of the greatest Slovak instrument makers was born. This is Turičky. And in 1937 Tibor Koblicek was born in this village. And this is house number 15, Turičky, house number 15. This is where Tibor Koblicek lives. And you can see him there, tending the goat's skin for his next guidey. Village of Turičky is near Sinabanya, which is a little bigger town, and this is in Lučenec County. Tibor currently works in the advertising department of the Central Slovakia Glasswork in Poltar, which is nearby. Originally he was an instrument maker, and he dedicated over 25 years of his time to his love of folk art and folk instruments that made him popular at home and abroad. His talent is evident in the tens of oil paintings, aquarels, sketches he created, in the folk art, folk instruments that he makes from wood, leather, bones, horns, and many other materials. He is able to give each one of his instruments a soul. This is Tibor's workshop. When he was 33 years old, he didn't have a clue about the folk art or folk instruments. As I mentioned, he was an instrument maker in the factory, and he had a position, and during the years of 68 he was demoted, and he wanted to show something to the old regime, that even though they demoted him, that he could make something better than what he had with them. So he started to make instruments. But it started all with the brothers Kubinets from nearby village, and they were fujara makers, and they actually introduced him to the making of the fujara. With them he made the first fujara, and then it continued from then on. He makes whistles that are with 3 holes, he makes whistles with 6 holes, he makes whistles that are the end whistles, he makes whistles from horns, and so on. In 1975 he participated at the exposition of the Fujaras Detva, where he won the prize. He experimented with fujaras that were single, double, triple, and quadruples. They all play. All of his instruments are they do have a soul. He also makes works of art, and one thing he's always saying that anything he makes, it's gonna produce music, which it does. He also makes sticks, walking sticks, that can play music. Over here we can see bunkosh that he can play the music on too. This is used in the place for a Christmas time. Over here we have a whistle that is a triple whistle, or actually it's more than triple. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 whistles all together here. And there is a horn here that he makes too. He also is one of the only makers, one of the few makers of gaidi. Gaidi is not typical Slovak instrument. It's also found in Scotland and Ireland. But what's interesting in Tibor's work is that he's a complex maker of gaidi. In other words, he goes and he skins the goat and he gets the horns and he makes the gaidi in complex, the whole works. So when we have an instrument from Tibor, it means that he designed and created the whole work. And you can see the details. Here we have a carved horn. And this wood is inlaid with zinc. Or lead. And again the horn that is carved, and you can see his sign, TK, Tibor Koblicek. Here's a horn whistle that isn't finished yet. He also makes a rapkache. This is an instrument that was played by or during the Easter time. It's a noisemaker. Also this one can play music. He's also one of the only makers of ninera. Ninera is an ancient instrument which plays music like violin. The only thing different in the ninera is that you don't have a slack, and you turn the wheel there and you're actually using these knobs here to create the music, but it gives a sound as a violin. This is a ninera in making. Ninera wasn't known at all in Slovakia lately, but Tibor went to a museum in Poprad and he found the ninera in there, and he copied the design and started to make his own. And this is how a finished ninera looks. And he is the only maker of nineras in Slovakia. So this one is finished, and in here to the right we'll see the one that he is just making. One interesting part about Tibor is that he is teaching his son Laco to take the making of the instruments over. So basically he is a student of his, and he is being supervised by Tibor in all the works, and they basically doing everything now together. And later on, Lazo will take over the business, which is really nice because he is making sure that whatever he learned and created will be passed on to the generations, and it will continue for generations to come. This is Lazo. I will show him to you in a minute. But he is actually a blacksmith by trade, by a high school, and when he was 13 years old he made a self-portrait of him, and this is his creation. And he regularly works in his dad's workshop, and basically they are partners now, and the dad overlooks his work and makes sure that everything is to his quality. This is one of the creations of Tibor's son Lazo when he was in school, and this is a candle holder. The greatest collection of Tibor Koblicek's work is currently at the Berlin Museum, and basically they have all the instruments that he created, and which is sad that the greatest thing is in Germany and not in Slovakia. However, Tibor also made a trombita, which is like over 24 feet long, and that one is in the Castle Museum in Bratislava. Another collection of his work is in the National Museum in Martin. A complete set of his work or his instruments was ordered by Slovak Radio in Bratislava, and also in the orchestra of Czech Radio in Brno, now in Czech Republic. His works of folk instruments are owned by many popular musicians or folk musicians in Slovakia, but also many of them are abroad, like United States or in Canada and all around the world. Tibor also travels through the world, namely in Europe, where he plays his gaidi. This is another instrument that he made. Again, he made everything that is included in gaidi, and he also, when he sells a gaidi, he makes sure that the person that buys it knows how to play the gaidi, so he gives them lessons. So it's not something like you buy in the store and then good luck or whatever. He makes the sessions, and then 3 months later the person returns if he can, and Tibor gives him more lessons. Tibor, with his work, basically is promoting the Slovak folk traditions in Slovakia and making it popular in the other countries in Europe and in the world. And these are a few of the examples of Tibor works. Which are really hard to reproduce. There's a double whistle, and here is one that plays in different tunes, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one is from cherry, and this one is from another wood, and it's with the 3 holes. And this is Tibor's son, and currently he's making a new ninera. And I don't know if I told you about the ninera. A ninera is an instrument that comes from 15th century, and Tibor first saw it in the museum in Poprad. And so he went to the museum numerous times, and he made the drawings, and then he started making nineras. And his nineras are now currently throughout the walls. And as I mentioned before, Laco, his son, is learning from his father the trade of making nineras and making violins and making the whistles and making the fuyaras and everything. So Tibor is making sure that whatever he discovered during his journey in the folk art of Slovak folk art will be passed to generations, and hopefully from Laco to his little son and so on. Laco will be taking a special course next year to start making violins. And in the next room, I seen him making the top for a ninera that will be covering the hole that you can see here. And basically on the ninera is an instrument that gives the sound of a violin, but you don't have a slack. And I'm sure Tibor will play for us in a while. The ninera, so for all of you to see it. What is nice about Tibor's work, that he not only creates the instruments, but he also creates the tools. And for instance, these 4 tools were created and made by Tibor. And all of the tools that you can see here on the wall, that's basically Tibor's work. I mean, he is a genius. And so this work, basically, you can see here, this is a bunch of fuyaras and whistles and all kinds of stuff that is not made yet, but it takes a couple years to make a fuyara, for instance, or a whistle. Because first you have to go to the forest and find the wood, and then if you find the wood, you cut the branch, and then you take it home and you dry it for a year. Then you take the skin off, then you core it, and then it dries a little bit more, and then after a couple of years you can start making your design, and then you can probably have a finished product. But it's not really assured that whatever you cut, the branch that you cut, the wood and all this that you have, that it will play the music. Many times they cut the wood and it just doesn't do anything, and it's like 2 years in making. This is Tibor showing me how late I am.
Koľko meškáš?
So how late I am? Koľko meškám?
Tu a tento kus, bystri. 30 stupňov.
Koľko to je? Koľko to je asi hodinu? No?
No,
Hodinu a pol?
no.
I'm late about an hour and a half, and this guy is really busy.
Denníčania nemáme digitálky a máme iba slušné hodiny.
They don't have a digital clock, and this is Tibor Koblicek, a real sunny clock, and he said I'm an hour and a half late.
Pozrieme sa hore
He said we look up on the
a
top,
slnko je na 4 pavúsy.
and he said, oh,
Pavús je, vieš je pavús.
I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Seno sa dáva takto pod pavús, to je hranol veľký.
Well, I can see 8 stars.
A tu sa vyrábajú kože, že by si vedel.
And this is how he makes the goat skins for the gaidi.
Kyselina mravča a sol.
And he's got some acid in there and salt.
48 hodín sa to musí miešať a močiť.
And he had to leave this goat's skin for
potom
48 hours.
Potom sa to vyberie a dá sa liadok.
And
Kamenec, hlinico draselný.
then he takes it out and puts it in another solution to soften it up.
Potom, keď sa to vyberie,
And then
natreme
when
to
it takes it
olejom a budeme to stále naťahovať, že by bola koža svieža, taká.
Then what he will do after the second day, he will pour oil over it, and he will stretch the skin off so it will be nice and fresh.
No ale ja tu mám ešte mimo toho
Tibor,
semiačka
besides that he is also making folk instruments.
z malého semiačka.
He also makes. He's a planter and he makes apricots
Z takého
or
malého
peaches.
takéto malé semiačka
And from this seed,
som zasadil a vyšli mi pekné dve a tu je tretí, ktorý mi rastie do stromček.
and there is a 3 trees peaches, and then he will plant them
Tomu sa
in
hovorí,
his
že sú
garden.
také vinohradnícke divie marhule.
And these are called the winemakers' wild apricots.
Sú také drsné, také štipľavejšie, ale výborne mne napríklad chutia.
They are a little bit more sour, but he really likes them. Like
Lebo
he is a fine maker.
nie je všetko najlepšie to, čo je tak veľmi sladké, ale aj také trpké, aj to je príjemné.
It's not everything is best that is sweet, but he likes kind of a little bit of bitterness in it, and that's why he
Verím,
likes
že
them.
moje deti a moji vnúci, že
And-
niekedy si na týchto stromčekoch pochutnajú.
And he believes that his kids and his grandchildren will be getting some fruit from these 2 trees that he will be planting very shortly
No.
in his backyard.
Ja to hovorím za to, že nemôžeme len robiť v robote a fujare a píšťalky, ale život, že by bol pestrý, treba sa venovať väčšie také, že by človek mal radosť do všetkého.
See, he is a very happy person, and he doesn't want to work and just in the factory that he works and do the skins and all this. And he
Well,
also
but
likes something for happiness. So he plant the seeds, and he will have the trees, and his grandchildren will remember him, like Grandpa made it.
Že urobíme fujarku, predáme,
He can make a fujara and sell it and make
peniaze
money
strojíme a nemáme nič.
and spend the money, and he's got nothing. But when he plants the seeds,
Ktorý zasadíme, ten nám bude rodiť 20-30 rokov a budeme mať stále z neho užitok a budeme sa tešiť z tej úrody.
see, when he plants the seed, the way he feels, then when he plants the seeds and he gets a tree, his family and his grandchildren can be really happy for next 20,
U nás
30
je
years by
také
getting the apricots
to
from
také
the trees.
porekadlo pekné, že postav dom, zasadí strom a urob deti. Že by
Yeah,
niečo po tebe zostalo.
They have a saying here in the village, which says, "Make a house, make children,
Takže
and plant a tree, so
Deti
you can have something to remember you."
tu je syn, Láso, ktorý robí pekne to isté, čo aj ja. Tam je
And
tam
he's got a child. He's got Lazo, who is basically being trained by Tibor's work.
Dom je za tým kostolom, povedz.
His new house is behind the church,
No a teraz pripravujem tieto stromy, že by...
and he's preparing the trees for his grandchildren, for the next generation.
No, takže o pár rokov.
And this is the goat skins for a few guides that he already has orders from Germany and Austria and throughout the world. And he's just doing the skin so he can make it to a guide to the bagpipes. Lasso has been trained by his dad, Tibor, how to carve the top plate for Ninera. And this is what he's making right now. So you can see a carver at work. So this will be the cover plate for Ninera, which can be opened and you can make adjustment in it. And this is basically where this plate will go. It will cover these sticks where when he pushes one, or the other, it makes a different sound, same as in the violin. This is how the Ninra looks from inside. It basically looks like a bigger violin, but it's a different style. And then Lazo will put the top part of it on. And the part that you have just seen him carving, it will come over here. Okay, but Kobliceks are the only Ninra makers in Slovakia, or maybe in the world, I don't know. But nobody else makes them here, and they are quite popular. When the instrument is put together, this is how it looks. Of course, the main shaft, where somebody will be turning it on this side when it comes in, and then over here you will have the strings, and this wheel will turn and it will make the sound as a violin. And with the claps that he will be pushing here that you see in the other room, he is pushing the string against this wheel and it makes a different sound. So basically what we have here is an instrument that is played like on piano with the claps, but it really sounds as a violin. And this is thanks to Lazo, and basically thanks to his dad Tibor, that is teaching Lazo how to do these things, because Tibor will be 60 years old next year, and he wants to make sure that this instrument making and the love of the folklore will be passed to the generations, and then it will be passed to Lazo's son further down. Many years ago, Tibor started to experiment with deep cut carving, and he mastered the profession, and you can see the work of his and his son on this fuyara. This is a deep cut. For instance, if you look at these fuyaras here, they are not carved deep, but this one here, that is his new trademark, that he's the only one that actually creates fuyaras like that. This is a walking stick that Tibor creates. Like many times he goes to the forest and he's looking for branches and so on, and when he finds a branch he wants to make sure that it will play. And basically this is a walking stick, and he's trying to put it together, and he already made the other part, and it can actually play. So he will show us some of his carving capabilities. So he will put it on a stick, put it in the vise, and he will carve. And so he marked the design with a black felt pen on the brass tube, and he's making the design now. So this is how you carve from the brass, and this is how it looks, the first carving. Okay, so it goes like a butter. Now he is making another one. And this is how it looks, almost finished. Beautiful. This is rapkač, which is used in during Easter season.
No, to je píska.
But this one, as Tibor said, he always have an instrument or anything has to make a music. So you can play on this. And this is Bobby, the local dog here. Bobby. That's Tibor's helper. That's Tibor's helper.
No dobre, no. Hej, pomalý len, hej, ovečky na hole. Hej, pomalý len, ovečky na hole, na hole. Hej, máme málo, hej, senečka sto dole. Že na horách je, hej, veľká inovať. Hej, na horách je veľká inovať. Hej, kde budeme, hej, ovečky zimovať. Hore, vyskoč. No, poď sem, Bobo. No, poď sem, Bobík. Tu, no, poď sem.
Dobrý.
Môžem?
Mhm.
že ma budú vešať, hej, bol by som si ja dal. Hej, šibeničky kresať, hej, šibeničky kresať. Joj, svietila zornička, hej, pravo nad kostolom. Poprav, že mi milá postielku za stolom.
Ide. And this is from Polana, above Detva.